Dímelo, Bo, Dominican York. What's going on, mi gente? What the is going on? It's been a fragrant week. Literally, it's been a fragrant week. And I think I kind of started it off. Well, I can't say I started it off, but I know that elixir from Boss Bottled was definitely heavy on my mind. And I wore this, pardon my language, more than once. Definitely wore this more than once. This is a beautiful scent that has some sweetness, has some complexity, has some niche sensibilities, stronger than you think. I do believe that, with my overspraying, this guy can just be so potent sometimes. And I think it might be parfum concentration. I'm not sure. That is my preferred concentration level. It doesn't always project as loudly as an eau de parfum or an eau de toilette. But the parfum concentrations for me just really, and I'm cleaning the bottle up a little bit. Let's see if it actually does. Me and my greasy hands. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like some of the lettering is off, meaning it's like, but when I hold it at an angle, it seems to all come together. But the E and the D kind of seem brighter than some of the other letters that are a little more faded. But that's enough talk about Boss Bottled Elixir. The one I have not tried is Boss Bottled Absolute. I've been wanting to get a real deal on it, I got this 3.4 or 100 milliliter for like $60, guys. Come on, $60. That's what I want to get the Absolute for. And I've, heard one of the gentlemen drop a comment saying if you've got Elixir, you don't need Absolute. Now, I know there's going to be differences, but, whatever. Ooh, earlier this week, did get a chance to wear Bois Imperial, the extrait. I do have the EDP, which is gorgeous, Ganymede adjacent, but different. It's got its own sensibility. They're both by Quentin Biche, but so is this. And this extrait adds a little more bite to it. You know what I mean? It doesn't, again, an extrait doesn't project as loudly as the eau de parfum, I think, to me anyway. But the scent trail, the sillage, outstanding. And the longevity, as great as the EDP, if not slightly better. But guys, when you spray this the first time, if you're holding your nose up to where you sprayed, this can have a kind of almost urine body odor effect to the nostrils, at least to me, that is quite intoxicating. Yeah, I said that. So it's got a grado to it that can be kind of addicting, guys. But in the air, you just get that Bois Imperial deliciousness, right? That's where the magic happens. In the air, in the scent trail, the sillage. And I wrote this in Discord to someone. I do actually have, when I wear this and the EDP, actually Ganymede as well, but when I wear any of those three, I've got a young lady at work that knows I'm in the building before she even sees me. She'll let me know, oh, Bo, I knew you was here. She says that about other fragrances I wear too, but specifically, this is like her favorite DNA, which is in that Ganymede adjacent space. She's a little older than I am, so she's definitely got a mature nose and enjoys this mature fragrance profile. But again, I'm kind of talking too much about one specific thing. One that I wore earlier this week. Wow. And some people, I guess, don't really talk about or heard about much Enigma Oud from Raja. I'm trying to get a clear shot up in here where you can read the name. Enigma Oud. So it does have that Enigma DNA, but I heard it comes from the female Enigma side along with that Amber Oud sensibility. This is according to Raja. If you watch Raja Dub's video on Enigma Oud, he said he took the female Enigma and the Amber Oud DNA and kind of blended them to create Enigma Oud. This stuff is absolutely gorgeous. I do want to spray one. And I don't have to reach for it. This stuff is just, you know what? And I'm, again, quietly, Raja's becoming one of my favorite houses, one of my go-to houses. And something that I did pretty crazy, I've got Elysium up here because when I was talking about Enigma with somebody, I wanted to kind of touch up with something, and I didn't touch. Wow, that smells so delicious. You know what? And all the Ouds really have a familiar DNA. I mean, the Sweetie Oud, the Oud, the Amber Oud, the Enigma Oud, all of them have this similar DNA, and it's got to be the Oud. I keep saying Oud, but it's just Oud. Raja said it. He said Oud. I don't know why they say Oud, but the Oud in each of these, to me, really ties them in and lets me know that I'm actually wearing just a different version of the same fragrance. But I touched up Enigma Oud the other day with a little of one of my favorites and one of the community darlings, Elysium. Oh my goodness. I was getting the brightness, the airiness of Elysium along with that heavy oud. And wow, together, the guys, these gave me a really great few hours because I did shower not long after wearing both, but these together, wow, guys, wow. That's all I gotta say. Wow. Another one of my favorites that I wore this week, Oud for Greatness. You don't have to say much. Not an amazing atomizer, I know that. Guys, I wore this. And when I do, I fall in love again, man. This stuff is delicious. Absolutely delicious. Yeah, it's gorgeous. You got people that don't like it, hate it. And what I did that day, by midday, after about 4 or 5 hours, I actually touched up with some Baccarat Rouge 540, which my wife doesn't use as often. Now, she's got a large collection as well, so I get it. She doesn't have to wear things she doesn't really want to because she's got so many others. But yeah, they have a sensibility, something similar about them, but they are distinct. This has a tincture of oud or an oud accord or whatever it is that really darkens it up. Saffron, and I think it's got some even ginger in here. It's just a gorgeous wearing experience, guys. Again, not a review. I don't review fragrances. I don't have the knowledge and the depth and, the eloquency to relay and convey what I get to you guys. So I don't review, I share. But Oud for Greatness, oh man, when I first got this from the mailbox, got it out of the box, I couldn't even wait to get in the house, and I got it out of the box and I dropped it because I picked it up from the cap, and the cap or the neck actually bent. I had to physically push it back in place. And thank God it didn't break, and it still sprays, and it still atomizes, and I still get to enjoy it every single time. Let's go to the over here. Let's go to this guy. This is another one in the community that, and I get why it gets a lot of disdain or hate, but it smells delicious, guys. This is Dior Homme Parfum 2024/2025. Wherever you go, you might see it as a 24 release, others as a 25. But I actually got this gifted from my wife right before Christmas, or right around Christmas. Actually, it might have been a day or two before Christmas. December 2024. That's when I got this bottle, and it's a stunner. The iris has become a little bit more pronounced than it was that first month. in that first 2 months. My last wearing, again, it's not an iris bomb. It's nowhere near the Dior Homme Intense powder irisness or irisness. I made that up. It's not as irisy as Dior Homme Intense, obviously, but I am picking up a lot more iris than I did that first few months. Now that it's continued to aerate and get oxygen in the line. As Demand Cologne says, you need to aerate and get some oxygen going so the fragrance can continue developing over time, which it may or may not, but in this case, I believe it did. I believe it did, guys. And yeah, it has an amberwood feel that makes it modern, and it's, I would imagine, nowhere near the Dior Homme Parfum that we've all heard about. You know, I haven't smelled it personally. I don't know what the OG Dior Homme Parfum smells like. That heavy ambrette, leather, darkness. I don't know. I will get a sample if I can't get a bottle. And I know that it is a darling and beloved in the community. And this one isn't. This is for us new guys, us new noses. Again, I'm an old nose that's new to the fragrance industry in this depth of breath, right? So this is my, and I bet you I've smelled Dior Homme Parfum 2014 or 2017 or 2011, whatever year it was, or whatever different years it released. I know I've smelt it. I've smelt it in the club. I've smelt it on friends. I've got friends that have been into fragrance, you know, way before I was. Same way when I got into Jordans in 2017, I have friends that have been collecting Jordans since we were teenagers. And then when I look back at their collections and see that they've got freaking Dornbecker 4s and, you know, different things that are worth goo money now, I'm like, wow, where was I? How come I wasn't paying attention to that stuff? Well, because I was buying Air Force Ones for $50. You know, I was dropping less than $100 on stuff. So, yeah, I was a cheapskate. Probably still am a cheapskate to some degree, but there are things that I will pay for the quality. And this guy is delicious, guys. So don't let the community fool you into thinking that that's not a great smelling fragrance, because it is. Another one that I wore this week that's been discontinued, at least as long as I've been in Fragcom, is Tobacco Oud. And this guy gave me the most amazing wearing experience this week. Or this past week, right? Because it's Sunday, it's the start of the week. Sunday's not the last day of the week, it's the first day of the week. On the 7th day, he rested. Yeah, I grew up at SDA, a Seventh-day Adventist. But Saturday's the 7th day, not Sunday. So we should be resting on Saturdays. I don't know, it's an argument, right? That's Old Testament. But Tobacco Oud has an amazing masculine bite that is not going to be easy. If you don't have the attitude or the cojones, this will wear you. You will not feel comfortable. You will not enjoy it. Not for the weak nose. Definitely not for the weak nose. Put a little bit on myself right now. Yeah, I'm still going to wash it off because I am going to shower in another hour or so before I go out. But man, I do not mind wasting a spray because it's not a waste for me. Anyway, Tobacco Oud is one to sample if you want to sample, but if you don't like things that are funky and pungent and dense and dark and also semi-sweet, you know, because the sweetness comes from a different place. It's not your typical designer sweetness, right? It's not nowhere this kind of sweet, right? It's nowhere, what's another one? Oh, almost dropped it. Nothing like that kind of sweetness, right? Which, hey, I've actually worn both of these this week. But they're not in the list because, I don't know. Whatever, one reason or another, I didn't feel like I had to put them on the list. Because these are the things that I actually kind of continue to wear for a duration of the day. Gave a full wearing to. But Tobacco Oud, one to sample, guys. Get your nose on it. Just before, before yesterday? Or was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday, guys. It might have been Saturday. This was my scent of the day. Amouage's Overture. Guys, this is so good. This is another one. You get a funky BO kind of body odor, tenaciousness coming from this fragrance that is just punchy, man. And they say it. They say that there's an animalic note in here, but there's also things like grapefruit and just, guys, a delicious concoction that's not for the masses. I will spray a little bit on myself again. But yeah, not for the masses. Not even the best Amouage, according to most. But I think it's in the top 3, and I've only got 3 Amouages, so I've got Beach Hut Man. I've got, which one is it? That tobacco? I've got the tobacco, what is it called? Oh my God, I can't think of it. Anyway, it's in that ceramic bottle. I've got that tobacco, which is delicious. I need to wear it again, and I haven't been wearing it this winter because I've been going through so many other fragrances. But Overture from Amouage, Overture Man, this one, absolutely a stunner. And one you must get your nose on if you are into fragrances with an animalic edge. And then lastly, I woke up with this on skin. Actually, more than just on skin. Now there are the old bottle, which says Parfum Cologne, and the new bottle that now says Eau de Parfum. My Elysiums don't say that. I have 2 Elysiums, but they're both the newer body or the newer bottle. This one actually still says Parfum Cologne, so it is the older bottle or the original bottle. But this guy smells just as good. It is just as delicious. You do get a Coca-Cola vibe or a sensibility from it that is absolutely delicious. And honestly, this wasn't love at first sniff for me. This was not love at first sniff the way Elysium was or is. But Enigma has grown on me, so much so that, again, I do have this bottle now as the backup bottle, which I'm going to go through first, I think, before I go through the Parfum Cologne bottle that still has the Raja signature on the cap. This one does not. Nowhere on the cap do you see that signature. And then, of course, it says Eau de Parfum now. Again, just stating the obvious instead of Parfum Cologne. But man, it really had me thinking that this might end up being one of my go-to signature scents. I think this is going to be one of my go-to signature scents. It's just that good. And my wife does not love the Coca-Cola vibe, so much so that we ended up turning back Vanilla Diorama from, who was it? Dior, right? Dior is the one with, Christian Dior. We did have Vanilla Diorama. I would have kept it, but having 2 bottles of Enigma, I don't need to because it really gives off the same kind of vibe. So we returned it anyway. But this rounds out my fragrant week. How did you guys do? What did you guys wear this week? I'm looking forward to reading the comments and finding out what you guys did. Anyway, que Dios me lo bendiga. Have a blessed week.